very well. Ibrahim Lawa. With the 10 numbers, we can go in. Thank you.
I came to be the one to lay the red carpet. I wanted to be the one to lay it. I wanted to be the one to lay it. Because you were not there. Because, this appointment belongs to you remember that though? Oh, wow! I did not know that before. There's one young man called Bolaji Sahad. He said you were colleagues at some point. So I told him, I said, he introduced me to you. He has gone to Sahad.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to Vanguard Live. I'm Damilola Ogunshaki, and I'm with my co-host
Precious Chukwudi.
And of course, this is Today in the News. Here we read and give in-depth analysis on some of the stories making headlines across Nigeria. And Precious, how was yesterday and also this morning?
I think that Lagosians are still battling with a lot of traffic, like back and forth, like it's even in the papers of Punch newspaper and as well Vanguard, how much traffic has been happening since
the
partial lockdown. Yeah, it's a norm now, considering the fact that some of all these roads are still being, they are still being repaired. Everybody took a halt during the period of the total lockdown, and even the construction managers are back, and then that one again has added to the fact that there is more traffic on the road and all those things.
Wow. I think I also experienced some of it personally. But without going much into my own personal details, let's go straight to the front page of Vanguard. And of course, on the front page, we have COVID-19. Federal Executive Council cuts budget 2020 to 10.523 trillion naira. And of course, you can see details of that on page 5. And that story also has riders. It says, amendment of medium-term expenditure framework pegs crude oil price at $25 per barrel, fixes exchange rate at 360 naira to $1, and also approves a Greek loan of $1.2 billion. Experts and other stockholders react. Lagos records 551 new cases as confirmed cases rise to 4,971, and you can see more of that on page 5. And on the front page, of course, we can see the photo story of some of the IPOB men and the rifles paraded by the police in Delta yesterday. And on page 10, we have Southwest won't tolerate influx of Amajiri. This is coming from Akintoye, Yoruba World Congress leader, as 93 Northerners intercepted in Oyo and Ondo. And on page 23, we have only one application on COVID-19 herbal cures, says NAFDAC. Also on page 25, we have 3 IPOP camps discovered in Delta. This is coming from the police. And on page 9, we have government abduct army captain, 3 others in Odo, demand 20 million naira ransom. And now moving on to the stories above the nameplates, we have COVID-19. UNICEF raises alarm over fate of Nigerian children, says 950 may die daily. And you can see more of that on page 8. And moving on to page 6, we have APC, Northern Governors, ACF, Atiku, others react as Buhari's new Chief of Staff, Gambari, takes over. And from Vanguard, we move straight to the Punch.
And on the Punch newspaper, we have PSN disagrees with NAFDAC, PTF on search for local COVID-19 cure. Federal government ignores antiviral drugs by NIPRD. Others, says pharmacist. Nobody is seeking approval for COVID-19 drug, says NAFDAC, and government must fund coronavirus research, councils NMA, that's the Nigerian, the National Medical Association. And also on stories above, we have Dubai returnees protest, oppose general testing by Lagos. And also on page 15, we have APC Tinubu governors hail Gambari as Buhari unveils new chief of staff. And also we have on page 24 of the Punch newspaper, federal government adjusts the budget to 10.52 trillion naira, adopts a $25 oil benchmark. You can see more on that story on page 24. And there's a photo story of traffic, heavy traffic at the PWD area, end of Agege motorways. It's just so amazing how traffic has been so much on the road, considering the fact that we're still on the partial lockdown phase. And on page 4 and 5, we have a gunman kidnap army officer, 3 others in Ondo. And lastly, on the Punch newspaper, we have a video challenge. Immigration redeploys female officers to Borno, Yobe, page 7. And that one was those women who were doing the Bob Daddy challenge that was trending all over social media. So they've been redirected. So they've been redeployed to Borno and Yobe and other states as well. So from the Punch newspaper, we move straight to the Nation newspaper.
And on the front page of the Nation, we have dispute rages in Lagos over lockdown's likely return. And the riders, online voters trade words. Lagos records 51 in 184 new cases. Deaths double after easing of stay-at-home lockdown. Total cases in Lagos were 1,109 on May 4, but rose to 1,919 on Wednesday, an increase of 79.4%. Gambari steps in, Chief of Staff, I'm answerable to Buhari. Governors Tinubu others hail appointments. And lastly, of the front page of the Nation, we have a revenue shortfall. Governors beg federal government to earn deductions. And of course, you can see more of that on page 25. And that is all we have on the paper review this morning. And after the break, of course, we will be going to in-depth analysis that we always give you. And also, while on the break, you can always like and follow us on our social media platforms that are showing on your screen. And you can visit our website for some of the stories that we're reporting on this show. And that's www.vanguardngr.com. But stay with us. We'll be right back.
Knowing very well, Ibrahim Lawak. So with the check numbers, we can go in. Thank you.
I came to be the one to lay the red carpet. I wanted to be the one to lay it. I wanted to be the one to lay it. But you were not there.
Because this appointment belongs to the and you remember that though. Oh, wow! I would not say that before. There's one young man called Bolaji Sahabi. He said you were police at some point. So I told him, I said, he introduced me to you. He has gone to
Welcome back, and if you're just joining us, of course, it's today in the news, and where we analyze and take top stories on the front pages of the newspaper. And we're moving straight to some of the interesting stories on the front page of the newspaper. But we'll move to this one that is really dearest to our hearts, and it's the fact that Leah Shaibu turned 17 today. Leah Shaibu was a Christian schoolgirl age 14 at the time of her capture, and is the only remaining Dapchi schoolgirl still held hostage. And today makes it 815 days that she has been trapped with the Islamic terrorist Boko Haram. And we respect and salute her strength and courage of waiting in these times. What do you have to say about Leah Shaibu?
I'm just, trying to look at it from, from just another level, because looking at it, I'm sure she must be experiencing some psychological trauma and different things, health trauma, different things that she'll just be looking at. That's what I'm just looking at her when it comes to that. She's celebrating another year again with them. I know that kind of thought when you're looking at it. Am I spending another year also? Am I still going to keep going on? I know that. So, and also our parents who are thinking about it, I think it's also causing a lot of trauma for them.
It's pretty sad. We hope that she will be released as soon as possible, and the right authorities will do all they can to get her back to her family.
Yes. Okay, moving away from that, the UNICEF raises alarm over fate of Nigerian children, says 950 may die daily. And the UNICEF said that they might die from preventive causes over the next 6 months, or as COVID-19 pandemic disrupts routine services and threatens to weaken the health system. At the Global Humanitarian and Development Aid Agency also said that 6,800 more Nigerian maternal deaths could occur in just 6 months. The rate is really high. And according to the UNICEF analysis, it offers 3 scenarios of the potential impact of COVID-19 in 118 low and middle income countries, that's including Nigeria. And it said in the worst case scenarios that the estimate is that an additional nearly 173,000 under 5 deaths could occur in just 6 months due to reduction. And also it said that this potential death could also be an addition to the 4,702 children who could die before their 5th birthday every 6 months. That is really sad. But away from that story, what other stories do you have on COVID-19?
Okay, so I have the PSN, that's the umbrella body of the pharmacies in the country, that's Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, has disagreed with the federal government and the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control over the search for cures for COVID-19. And according to their Secretary General of the PSN, that's Emeka Dori, stated that the National Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development has several relevant drugs waiting to be developed. So they are saying that there's a lot of drugs that are yet to be developed, and then we're looking into local cures. And the DG of NAFDAC has also responded, and she said because no vaccine yet exists to prevent the further spread of the virus, the huge burden of developing a cure, or at best the treatment for this deadly virus, rests squarely on the shoulders of the medical world, of which Nigeria is no exception. So she's saying that Nigeria is of no exception to also provide cure. So she doesn't understand what the body is basically saying. And away from that, you have other stories that you want to take.
Yes, 26 days after the death of the former chief of staff of the president, that's Abba Kyari, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, 75, has actually been appointed as the chief of staff to the president. The appointment, which actually elicited a lot of plaudits from many sections of the polity, who taxed Nigeria's 5th COS in the last 21 years to use his wealth of experience to help President Buhari provide good governance. And also in a chat with reporters, Gambari thanked President Buhari for the appointment and said his guiding principle will be to serve the president to the best of his ability. And also when he was asked the question, he said, I think he needs my loyalty and competence and also support. So that is all we have on Gambari. And also, as regards to that, we also have someone to call, and that's Dr. Olusanya Awosan, the former senior advisor to the former president, former president Jonathan on public relations affairs.
Hello?
Dr. Olusegun, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, I'm speaking about the recently appointed CSO of the president, that's Gambari. The appointment actually elicited plaudits from many people. But what's your thought on it?
Well, generally, let me start from the office itself, where I have the opportunity to work with about 2 or 3 or 4 that. Essentially, I see in the various public discussions that the office is being honestly exaggerated, because it's not an elected office. It's an office that I would say is the chief personal assistant to the president, if you like to describe it like that. Because essentially those who are great category of people that works in this privilege, and those people are essentially either political appointees appointed by government, given letter of appointment signed by the secretary of the government, and those who are public servants are also responsible to the secretary to the government. What the office of the chief of staff is just to support the president in discharging his duty. Now, if you look at during the time of Obasanjo, the general who was our chief of staff then was highly respected within the villa and all this thing, but there is highly public mentioning of him. So by the time the Adua came, the office became more or less invisible. Now, there is a peculiarity with the Buhari government that has exaggerated. Not the President Jonathan, there are about 2 people who work in that office, and there was not so much mention of them in the public. But I think what this peculiarity with the presidency of General Buhari is what has exaggerated, particularly during the swearing in, when he mentioned that the ministers we have to go through the chief of staff and all these things. And human beings too. Well, we are given an inch, we can take things. But essentially, that office is just a coordinating office. It's not supposed to attract so much public discourse. We're talking about the man, Professor Gambari. Well, he's coming with very, very high credentials from the academics background and having served in government too, and he's a political scientist. But we will see. I think I don't want to prejudge him, but also there are a lot of people who have commended his. A lot of people have raised very serious reservation about some of his doing in the past, and those people you cannot wave all those reservations. You cannot just wave with the back of your hand and say it doesn't matter. There are some that have been documented, especially by Ambassador Dapova, a very distinguished diplomat, and if you know the character of Dr. Dapova, he hardly talk into the public. He doesn't talk to the media, and he's very reserved, and you hardly hear about him in the public. For him to have documented it in his memoir, it speaks volumes.
What's your expectation, or are we seeing another political power also?
No, either way, it all depends on his understanding of his role. But therefore, for a man like that, you also go to some of his comments during the regime of Abacha. For a man like that, I think the best thing for us is to cross our finger, keep our finger crossed, and let's see how things evolve. But nobody can beat his chest for him. I mean, and we should not too much say. Let us leave him. You know, people every day will learn. You know, he may have learned well because of he's an elderly person. He's very brilliant and all these things. He must have observed certain things and they want to put certain things right.
Okay,
and certain things in the past.
Dr. Olusegun, please, we want to direct all those questions.
I'm not Olusegun. My name is Olusanya.
Okay, I would like to ask you about the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria has said that they are complaining about the fact that the federal government is not doing enough to encourage the production of drugs in the country. What's your take on that, sir?
The Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, well, that's a very distinguished professional body, and I think that the government needs to listen to them. We need to look inward. Look, I am aware that there are a lot of research findings. I follow the libraries and the shelf of in a university. I know of one person who has done so much work in the area of research into us and all these things. His name is Professor Lamikara. When I was in the 80s, when we were undergraduates, he did so much in the effect that so we need to look inward and we need to fund research. We need to look inward. We need to encourage our scholars. We need to encourage our researchers. It didn't start with this government. They have been neglected in the past, so we cannot just be blaming this government. But we need now to move forward. I agree with them. I totally agree with the PSN, and that they must be listened to. They are very distinguished members, and they don't. You hardly find them making statements and all this thing. Now that they are talking, we must listen to them.
All right, sir. It's looking like there might be another lockdown coming soon, but people have been talking and they are saying that people are saying that the previous lockdown they received no palliative, and issues on insecurity has increased also, and also hunger in the land. Do you think that the lockdown should return?
Well, you see, first and foremost, if you, in areas where I've observed that they have done lockdown, you don't just lock down without making provision for people. And I think one or two people have said it, and I want to also restate it. Look, within the last 6 weeks or so, or 8 weeks, my expectation was that the central bank and all of that will have done. We have perfected anything about our BVN. There is nothing wrong. It is done everywhere. That whoever owns the account does not matter. Even if we send 30,000 naira to anybody with BVN, you get the point, and you perfect the system, it will reach them. Look, first and foremost, it will bring down tension. If you now want to do some strategic lockdown, you cannot do it. But you just lock down without any provision. Look, for instance, is it not very pedestrian for us to be saying that for our government to be saying that they want to start feeding children in primary school who are on holidays? How do you reach them? I mean, that's not too strategic. But I believe that the most strategic thing we should do now is to use the BVN and part of the substance, a little fraction of the Abacha, is it Abacha recovery or Abacha loot, whatever they want to call it, give it to Nigerians. And let's see how Nigerians will. One key thing you cannot forget is that there is endemic poverty. And if you say you want to read the poor of the poorest, the population is increasing every day. As you are talking to me now, is increasing. You get the point? For instance, if somebody is a big journalist, I will journalist myself, and he suddenly loses his or her job, he comes straight to that class. Straight away, he comes to that class. So we cannot be talking of lockdown now without plans, with the sustainable plans, with deliberate plan and sustained effort to reach out to people, not the way they are reaching out, that they will put naira on the table and be distributing. No, through the BVN, reach out to Nigeria equally. It does not matter whether the account belongs to the publisher or belongs to a writer. Let them get equal.
Okay, Dr.
Equal.
Okay, Dr. Olusanya, UNICEF expressed fears that an additional 950 Nigerian children could die every day from preventive causes over the next 6 months, and 6,800 more Nigerian maternal deaths could occur in just 6 months. Looking at the analysis, what do you think the government should do?
Look, first, what I think we should do, first and foremost, to prevent all this death is that we must, I just read something from somebody very close to me, medical practitioner who has just been discharged from the hospital, and it spoke about, most of these treatments for all these challenges. Let us find a way of democratizing it. Give information, let information percolate. Now we must enlist our registered pharmaceutical shops, so that drugs can be made available at subsidized rate. Through the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, we should have arranged that. I expected that we have done that, so that people look. It is not easy now to go to the hospital, so that people can at least get some things that they can use to augment their status, so that we can prevent some of these.
Olusanya Awosan. Thank you very much. The public relation consultant and former SA to former President Jonathan on public relations. Thank you very much, and we'll be going on a very short break now. After the break, of course, we'll be discussing 3 IPOB camps that were discovered in Delta by the police. And don't forget that while you're on the break, you can always like and follow us on our social media platforms, and also you can visit our website www.vanguardngr.com to get our top stories. Also, while on the break, you can create a watch party so that your friends can also see some of the things that we are discussing here. Stay with us, we'll be back.
Very well, Ibrahim Lawa. So with the exchange numbers, we can go in. Thank you.
I came to be the one to lay the red carpet. I wanted to be the one to lay it. I wanted to be the one to lay it. And you were not there.
Because, this appointment belongs to the you remember that oh, wow! I did not know that there's one young man called Bolaji Saad. He said you were police at some point. So I told him, I said, he introduced me to you. He has not to
Alright, welcome back. And of course, if you're just joining us, this is Today in the News. Here we read and give in-depth analysis on some of the stories making headlines across Nigeria. And of course, we've discussed some of the stories, and we'll be going to the IPOB, as 3 IPOB member camps were actually discovered in Delta State. According to the police, it fingered that the Biafra, the indigenous people of Biafra were actually caught for snatching and robbing guns from police officers in the state since 2018. And they also said that they discovered 3 undercover training grounds that were operated by the group at Ibuzo, Okpanam, and Ila communities in the state. Also, some of the police also paraded 182 suspects, including 22 suspected kidnappers, alleged 66 cultists and 53 armed robbers nabbed in the past 3 months. Journalists were actually told in the briefing in Asaba that the command will continue to provide residents of the state with adequate security, protect lives, and also their property. Also, police also said they arrested 12 Odua People's Congress members from Ondo State with arms and ammunition, accusing them of coming to Delta to commit crime. But the members said that that is not true. Said they just wore a black vest, claiming that they were just bona fide OPC members. Meanwhile, the leader of the IPOB group, that's Nnamdi Kanu, told those who are claiming that self-determination amounts to treason to go back to Nigerian constitution for a better understanding. And also, to see some of the names of the people that are arrested, you can get a copy of the Vanguard newspaper, or you can visit our website, www.vanguard.ng to get those names. Also, and lastly, on that story, and in PoliceNet, 2 suspected traffickers, that's Tolulope and Abiola, were intercepted while on transit in a commercial bus along Asaba-Benin Expressway in Okpanam area. And like I said, if you want to get more of the story, you can visit our website or get a copy of the Vanguard newspaper. Do you have more stories?
Okay, I have more stories on the Fed Court's budget 2022, 10.523 trillion naira. And the Federal Executive Council, FECA, yesterday revised the 2020 budget for 10.594 trillion naira, signed into law by President Muhammadu Buhari, to 10.523 trillion naira. And also the FEC also approved the amendment of the medium-term expenditure framework, that's NTEF, for 2020 to 2022. So that's all on it. And if you want to find out more stories, you can equally check out on our website as well. That's www.vanguardngr.com to find more on that story.
Okay, and that is all we have on the paper analysis and reviews this morning. And of course, before we go, let's just put a little laugh on the people's faces as we read Mr. and Mrs. And actually, the first person talking today is Mrs. And she said, another place, that would be the fourth one. Do you want to finish the pot of soup? And Mr. responded, he said, shut up and do as I say. Give me small amount of rice, 2 pieces of cow leg, and plenty of vegetable. We are advised to go herbal as a cure for COVID-19.
Oh, so that's Mr.'s way of going herbal.
Taking a lot of vegetable.
And
they said it's 2 pieces of cow legs and
So that's
he said just small amount of rice. That's his own herbal from.
Well, he should learn how to control his stomach because they might be likely locked out.
That's it. Of course, that is all we have on the review this morning. And like I've been saying, and my colleague, you can always get more of our stories on our website, and that's www.vanguardngr.com. And don't forget that you can always leave your opinion and everything you think in the comments section. And always, you can also follow us on our social media platforms that are showing on your screen. Don't forget to keep tuning in and checking more of our stories as we have other shows that are coming up. So don't go anywhere. But from Vanguard Live, it's bye for now. From me, Damlola Wishaki, and also from our co-host,
Precious Chukudi.